Welcome back. My guest right now was nominated in the Diamond TV Personality of the Year Awards for the year 2020 in the category of Social Media Personality of the Year, which he didn't win, but he certainly still does win the attention of all those who seek Mulomo, because his Facebook page, Fashion Police Zambia, certainly does a lot of that. However, there's more to that because it has also become a money-making venture for him as a blogger behind it. My guest right now is the one and only Bubugaga, FPZ, as a lot of people know him. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Finally made it here, bro.
Yeah, good to see you. I met you for the first time at there's a night market which I was hosting, the one at Manda Hill.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
That was actually last year, not this year.
I think the festive season last year.
Yes, it was actually last year. I remember. Yeah. I said, oh, okay. I know people around me who follow your page religiously, and I follow it by association. So
I see.
But you know what? There's a lot of interesting things about you that I think a lot of people do not know. Let's start off with just how everything started. I know you've had the page on for a while, and it only picked on later on. Fashion Police Zambia, but majority of the content is Mulomo related. Tell us how it all came together.
Well, it started like some years back. You know, I started as a fashion page. Yeah. You know, and then funny enough, you know, like fashion was never appreciated in Zambia. It was slow, like very slow. So, you know, as a business, I had to think, you know, what's the best way to have, you know, to divert into something that's profitable, something that would like have all this traffic to the platform. And we had to take a wise decision, you know, to just somehow divert from the fashion and just get into, you know, the news and everything else. Yeah. And at that point, I noticed like a boom from...
So was the initial intention to get traction and attention, or was it to make money? Because, you know, sometimes people just enjoy having a Facebook page that has likes and numbers. So was it about the numbers for you first, or it was about the money numbers?
I think I started it as at first I started as all about the following.
Just for fun.
Only. But then I noticed I would actually earn something from it. You know, so it went from just the following to the business. Yeah. And you know, so from that diversion, I had to make certain decisions, and fashion was really slow.
And before we talk about the business, I mean, the name you go with, Bubugaga. Why? I only just learned your real name. I think a few hours before we started. Yeah. But why Bubugaga?
To be honest, it's something that I didn't really like foresee myself. You know, like being Bubu. So, much of you know, Zambian Facebook forever. You know, like those people that are so mature on social media, like you can't even share memes. You know, or certain sarcastic memes, I should say, because they'll think you're being disrespectful and stuff like that. So, you know, me adopting that name is just me basically coming out as, look, it's social media, we're just having fun. You know what I mean? You don't have to be so mature on social media. You know, when you make a post, you even have a family meeting over it. If you're gonna see me childish, it's good. In fact, Bubugaga, you know what I mean? So from that point, that's all we like adopted the Bubugaga name.
So it's like a cheeky way, like you think I'm childish, okay, fine, Bubugaga.
Yeah, like take it, because I won't have to explain myself. I know who I am. Yeah. You know, on social media, I know what I do. Off social media, I know what I do. Yeah. So if you think I'm childish because of my social media posts, it's fine, Bubugaga, I'm a baby, you know what I mean?
I also learned something again about you, that you well, you spent a good amount of time on the Copper Belt. You're primarily from Lusaka, but you spent a good amount of time in the Copper Belt. And I can already tell from this conversation, you know, the Coppola side that comes in. Does it have an influence in even how you gather your content and your interest in gathering content?
I think one thing I've learned from like Copper Belt is unity. You know, that like Copper Belt is a province that has so much unity. You know, there's togetherness.
Or as the Coppola would say, it's a nation.
It's a nation. Coppola is a nation, yeah. Basically, so like like the #1 priority is like unity. So, you know, when you come out there with an identity of being Coppola, regardless of you being, you know, born and bred from Lusaka, It's just basically you taking up those principles from Copper Belt that you feel are very beneficial to you. So somehow it has a certain level of influence.
Yeah. You started with the fashion. How interested are you still in like issues of fashion and everything? Because that's what we understand when you see Fashion Police Zambia. That's what people expect in the page. That okay, this one wore this. Let's judge and let's comment. But it's more of this one did this in someone's house.
Yeah.
Okay. But I still into fashion like that.
Yeah, basically, like I said earlier, the whole idea was to promote, the Zambian, culture, fashion around.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't appreciated. It also had to pull through the market with just only fashion. So we had to take a step that would have to engage the whole audience, and then probably at some point now start bringing out the fashion. So meaning you set a base or a platform that you can now produce the fashion,
Okay.
So yeah, we had to do the gossips, the molomo, the news, just to gather the audience. And now we're doing fashion because we're actually going to have like a fashion store where people can, learn a lot from it.
How do you even gather your content? Where do you get your info from?
I always say this, a magician never reveals a secret.
Okay, but do you have people who send you this information about themselves? Say I've done as Chumweka, I went and I stole from someone's house, and then I told you, like, hey, listen, I went and stole.
Okay, for a start, I have a team that I work with. So for a start, I would have my team, on the ground, gathering information. But like I said, the business perspective of it had people now coming on board because they noticed the only way they would gain relevance, especially on social media, is coming through Fashion Police Zambia. So now it's just an extent where, all these, some celebrities would just contact you and say, quite an apasana, so something. So yeah, sometimes there's people that just want to post certain articles, but 90% of it is actually not what they send.
So they actually call you and tell you that,
yeah, they do.
So just do something for me.
Yeah, they do very much.
So is it? So do they send you what to talk about, or you have to create? So does this mean you even have to lie sometimes of what is going on? Even if it's not the real situation, you just make it up.
Well, Bubu doesn't fit bins, but then sometimes you just have to create content that will have people talking about. I don't think that's called lying, but I feel for entertainment purposes, it's just one of those entertainment articles that people would read. And
but obviously, there's also some people who you might post about and they don't want you to post it. How do you handle that? Do people call you, insulting you, and want to physically harm you because of that? You've probably gotten that before.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, when I was starting, it was really, really rough because I would have people just hit you up and some would threaten to get you arrested. You know what I mean? But then one thing about me is I love reading a lot.
Okay.
And I'm a person that really respects the laws of Zambia. So I've studied an article that talks mostly about, my business type, and I know what limits I cross. I know how I can defend myself and my team. So at first, it was really rough before I had all the knowledge. People would call you, be threatened. Sometimes I even felt like stopping. I'm like, but then I realized, okay, you know what? I'm not lying. I'm not writing fake things about people. I'm not defaming them. You know what I mean? This is real things. I mean, Chumweka is on Diamond TV. If I post you on Diamond TV, I'm not lying, in as much as you don't want to be posted. You know what I mean? And so, in as much as you would press charges for that, but I would know where I stand. Yeah. So, to some extent, the same people that would call and bag me about it, they've appreciated it. And they're the same people now calling for certain articles just to gain relevance.
What's been the worst thing what's the worst form of intimidation you've ever gotten from the time you started all this?
Okay. I think last year was dramatic. Too much. Yeah, and this celebrity that I won't mention actually sent some cops on me. And then I was on the Copper Belt, But like I said, I know.
Was this like a musician or not a musician? Was it a musician?
Okay, a musician.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't mention names.
But like a top celebrity.
Let's just say musician. Let's keep it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guy sends these cops, I don't know if it's his friends and stuff like that, to come after me, get me arrested and everything. But like I mentioned earlier, I've studied all these things. I know my rights, especially with my business field. So he calls these guys and they're after me and they're calling me. And one funny thing is that I think this would be like the first time he would know this. Even before he called me, the closest people to him already told me what's going to happen. Really? Yeah. So this guy calls me, because like they approached me in the name of, no, why don't you promote music? So let's link up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, cool. Tell me the location, I'll come through. I was like, why is this guy so nice? You know what I mean? Like, why is he not scared to meet me? So they thought it's a win for them, but I knew everything. So what I did was, I knew who was going to call me, and I knew when they were going to call me, and I knew what the plan was. So these guys and the cops had Valif Sama, and surprisingly, I appeared there with their boss. You know what I mean?
The same musician? Oh,
yeah, I mean, the musician was out, but he had his manager on the Copper Belt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I appeared there with their boss.
So it's a Copper Belt artist?
Musician. So I appeared there with like the man like on Copper Belt, their boss then.
Okay.
And then they're surprised, like, what is this guy doing with our boss? We can't pursue him right now, And then, yeah, it was quite dramatic. They come, no, we just wanted to promote. And then, look, your name is ABC. This guy's name is ABC, and this guy's name is ABC. You know what I mean? Like, why are you guys doing this? What have I done wrong? Like, if I was wrong, I know. I wouldn't have been really here if I knew, like, I was against the laws of Zambia, you know what I mean? But then, because I'm abiding by the laws, it was crazy, man. Like, we had, and the boss just said, you know what? If anything, let me know. These guys will be locked up because they are really not using the law to, pursue these cases. Okay. And that's how come it was a win for me. I called him, I said, look, see what's happened. What have you achieved? You've paid them. You haven't achieved anything because I know I'm right, man. So, yeah.
I'd like to find out also how this affects your social life, your professional life, your love life. And I'd like for us to play a quick game.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do this when we get back on the table. We're still hanging out with Bubugaga from Fashion Police Zambia. Be right back.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, Sena Kumazulu. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drifter Trek, and you're now watching On the Table with Chimweka on Diamond TV. Voilà.
Welcome back to On the Table. I'm still hanging out with Bubugaga of Fashion Police Zambia, and he's brought up some very interesting experiences of his while being a blogger. I think that one was, that was quite interesting.
It was crazy.
I would think that the worst you'd have experienced is with the ladies, because and by ladies I mean because they're the ones who, a good number of them, have all these things going on up against each other and all that stuff. So I would think there's that, because you would also agree that a good number of your followers are female, isn't it?
Yeah, like 80% of my following is women.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand.
But the worst didn't come through from them.
I think that's the most terrible thing that's ever happened to me. And as much as it didn't really end so bad for me, but I feel that's the most extreme thing that ever happened to me in the blogging world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us how this has an impact on your social life. How do you manage to carry on? Because I also have some friends who do blogging, and I see how they spend a lot of time on their phones. And so how does that affect your social life?
I think at first, because when I started as a fashion page, I would do to my live streams before people knew me. So after the page boomed, I had people asking me, why have you exposed yourself? It's not safe for you, you know what I mean?
I was wondering that as well. I was surprised to see you being in the forefront, even putting your number out.
Yeah, like it was really bad. But then that also set a reminder, because me, like the type of audience I have built from my platform, I used to receive very explicit information.
Yeah.
And trust me, when you're not exposed, when you feel you're hidden, you'll be there sharing all that explicit information, thinking they won't find you. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was a reminder. They're like, look, this information you have is explicit, okay? And you've exposed yourself. So don't just post for posting. You know, post what's gonna protect you. Mm-hmm. And from that point, that was like a reminder to say, okay, look, Apanomba, you have a limit. And it's not everything that you have to post. Mm-hmm. And then, well, yeah, at first, you know, you'd be scared to step out and just have a good time. But as time went on, you know, I realized, okay, it's actually just business. I know my limits. I know what I have to do. In as much as I'm always on my phone, I know I'm not just there wasting my time. I know at the end of the day, I'm going to earn something that you know, will sustain me and just hang out with my friends.
How does it impact your love life in any way?
I mean, I've kept my love life so out of social media, so yeah. Okay. No, all right. Not really much impact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel if people brought your personal life in public domain? And people just say, hey, Bubugaga is cheating on Vanessa. Oh, by the way, Vanessa is actually his baby mama. And you know, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's really wild. But then I've chosen the path where, you know, I have to deal with the, you know, the public and everything else. Even the lady I'm dating, I've told her, look, at some point, obviously, not every day would stay underground. One day, someone like really expose us. You know what I mean? So just be ready for that. So if you're ready, let me know now before. And these are the effects of ABC. Yeah. Because trust me, sometimes people just go make fake stories. And
another thing, speaking of your woman, people also get bothered by the fact that a man, how loving Mulomo like this. Why?
You know, like I said, it's business. You know, when you, like showbiz, you know, we're in an era where at least 3/4 of the youth are unemployed. You know what I mean? And to make it out there, it's so hard. And you have to think of certain things that will sustain you. At first, people would let me know, why should a guy do Mulomo? But the same people now turned into fans. Every time you step out at the mall, they always want to pose for a picture with you. Because they've understood to say, it's actually less of the Mulomo, and now he's a public figure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yes, at first it was really hard. Even my family wasn't comfortable with it. But now they're benefiting, you know what I mean? They just have to celebrate with you.
All right, let's get to the game, all right? So we're going to play a quick game. It's called Would You Rather? Pretty simple. You've got two options, and you pick which one you'd rather have or do. All right, is that clear? So it's a game, so you don't have to take it too personal, and you just have to respond to which one.
Okay.
All right, so the camera is going to be on you as you respond, and you respond as much as possible with a few questions for you. So one of the first questions we have for you is, would you rather be indoors or outdoors on the weekends?
I think on the weekends.
Yeah.
I think outdoors is all right.
Outdoors, okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have 15,000 kwacha a month or 120,000 kwacha once a year?
Obviously 15,000 kwacha a month.
Would you rather live in Pika or in Mwinilunga?
I've never really visited both, but I think Mwinilunga is good because the sugar cane there.
Yeah, the pineapples and
all
all
the
that.
pineapples and everything, yeah. So.
Would you rather have Kidist or Mwizukanji on your wedding lineup?
I think they're both my friends, so I would have both.
You have to pick one.
I have to pick one?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would have Mwizukanji because we've known each other for quite some time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Still on weddings, would you rather have Bob Nkosha or Bwana Njombe as your wedding MC?
I think I would rather have I think Bwana Njombe is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really hope your woman is watching this so that she's getting some tips. Would you rather have Vicky Malo or Lynn Tambo as your matron?
Ish. I think of Vicky Malo because she's mostly into that. I see less of that side on Lily. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Cool. Would you rather work when it is cold or work when it is hot?
Ish, work when it's cold.
When it's cold?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather work during the day or work during the night?
I also work at night. During the day was like
Makazizi.
Makazizi.
Would you rather have an old model German vehicle or latest Japanese vehicle?
Probably old model.
German
vehicle.
and not latest Japanese.
Old model German vehicle.
All right, that's it with our quick game there. Let's talk about the rest of this year. What can people expect? What are some of your big plans as Bubugaga?
We're doing more international collabos, with other international firms.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to the official opening of the Fashion Police Zambia store.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And also, hopefully, we're also trying to do like our first ever Fashion Police Zambia magazine. Yeah, so we're just trying to bring out something that nobody has ever done, and all these things are, underway. So sooner or later, you'll be able to drop the store first, then the magazine later. Yeah.
And I know you're an accountant by profession.
Yeah.
So do you plan on bringing that side of you out as well? Or
I think I already have, because, to be honest, making Fashion Police Zambia known at national level has to do with, your innovation in business. Yeah, so I think that's like my accountant's side of the business.
Coming in, nice.
It's always been in.
All right.
Yeah.
Bubugaga, nice to have you here. Are you comfortable using your real name?
Yeah, it's my name. I can't run away from it. So I'm very comfortable.
So I can say Sendo?
Yeah. Sendo,
thanks a lot for coming through.
I appreciate it.
I'll have to send you out. But thanks a lot for coming through. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
My guest has been Bubugaga from Fashion Police Zambia. And we've been looking at different aspects of what he does business-wise, and also for the sake of entertaining you, the user on social media, and generally the public.